Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. For today's preview, France versus Ireland, the Six Nations is finally here, and I think we have an absolute cracker. And if it wasn't exciting enough that what is the biggest sort of annual tournament in the world when it comes to rugby, the Rugby World, is the fact that the opening game is going to be an absolute blockbuster. We have got France versus Ireland, and really set to be. Pretty much the biggest game of the tournament, to be honest. And in many ways, it's kind of sad that what is the biggest game of the tournament is going to be the first game. So it's almost kind of like, the one we've all been waiting for is the first one, and we kind of get it out the way almost. But it's sort of very much set the tone for Six Nations. And I think we're also talking about two teams who have a lot to prove at the end of the day. They both had very unsuccessful World Cup campaigns. And they'll need to try and sort of bounce back and prove their worth, because at the end of the day, we're talking about two teams that were arguably sort of favourites going into the World Cup, and yet two quarterfinal exits, which is not really good enough for either side. So they'll be able to prove something, and very interesting to sort of see Ireland, who've been the number one side in the world for quite a while, for example, taking on France at home. Be interesting to see how much the home ground advantage becomes a thing, and. Not too many changes, but a couple of significant ones. Life after Johnny Sexton for Ireland, life without Antoine Dupont for France. So there's a couple of nice sort of mini battles, which is going to be very interesting to see how it all kind of goes. But before we sort of have a look at exactly what the teams are, please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. We'll start with the French side, and if we look at that starting line, it is Surabaya, Piotr Murabaka, Unai Antonio, who has done a U-turn on his international retirement and has been convinced to stay on further. In the second row, it is a combination of Pauls, Cor Gabrielix next to Paul Willemse, who makes his return to the French squad, and the starting lineup. It's a very experienced second row. Francois Coste, Charles Goulivon, and Gregory Aldred in that back row, and Gregory Aldred will captain the side. So a nice big physical pack as we come to know him from France. With no Antoine Dupont involved for the Six Nations as he prepares for the Olympics, it will be Maxime Luciu who will partner Mathieu Jalabert in that halfback pairing. A very interesting selection is the usual sort of center, inside center, Johan Murafana, being played on the wing. Obviously pretty big, obviously a lot of physicality, but maybe not sort of the flair and the pace of Louis Bielbarri. Another wing, it'll be Damien Penaud. In the centers, it will be Jonathan Dante and Gael Ficou. That's sort of very consistency in the partnership. And then Thomas Ramos at full-back. Off the bench, it will be Julien Marchand, Reddy Wadi, and Dorian Aldegheri, who provides support for the front row. It is the 6-2 split. Both teams going with a 6-2 split. So Romain Tuaf for Fanua, Paul Boudinot, and Cameron Wacky off the bench for the French. You then got Nolan Lagaric and Louis Bielbarri as your two backline replacements. Obviously, Thomas Ramos can sort of soften a 10 as well. So a couple of players you can sort of play in multiple different positions. If we then look at the Irish side, this is how it looks. It's pretty similar, really, from sort of what you kind of expect. But a big call at 10 and a big call at wing. So in the front row, or in the pack rather, Andrew Porter, Dan Sheehan, Tyke Furlong, very, very standard, very consistent. We kind of know that. Joe McCarthy, though, is rewarded for his good form and his moments in the Ireland jersey last year. He comes in the number 4 jersey, Ty Byrne, and in the 5 jersey. The loose trio will be new captain Peter O'Mahony, Josh van der Fleer, and Caelan Doris. Then it will be Jamison Gibson Park, who will partner Jack Crowley, who will start and as the first one to start in the post Johnny Sexton era. Your two wings will be James Lowe and Calvin Nash, who gets the nod. Bundy Akiobi Henshaw in the midfield, Hugo Keenan at full back. Off the bench, it will be Ronan Kelleher, Kian Healy, Finley Beelum in the front row, James Ryan Bard, and Jack Conan. You're the rest of your forward replacements. You then got Conor Murray and Kieran Frawley. So very much a new era in terms of sort of your flower halves and halfback pairings. New flower halves for Ireland for the remainder of the tournament will be very interesting to sort of see. But yeah, those are the two sides. I look at the two sides, and I think it's a bit of a difficult one to pick. I think Ireland are probably the better side. France got home ground advantage, and for me, it's about who pitches up on the day. I don't think there's too much that really separates this side. And for me, I think just whatever side rocks up tomorrow night and puts in a performance will go on to win. And I think the side that wins tomorrow probably win the Six Nations. So make sure you come and join us on the watch long. Going to be a lot of fun to get into it. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well. And I'll see you guys all very soon.